All right. Ladies and gentlemen, and by that I mean mostly gentlemen based on our demographic analytics, welcome to another episode of KANTO Conversations with myself, Connor from Rock Pokémon, and Rob from Red or Blue. I am the host this week. That means it's my show, my rules, I'm in control. So
you guys are in trouble.
Rob, how you doing?
Oh man.
How you doing, man?
Oh, doing good. I'm just enjoying the pre-chat with you. Just kind of catching up. For those of you who don't know, I'm in northern Idaho, up by the Canadian border, and Connor's over in New York, and we're having a little bit of connection issues today. Hopefully, it's not too bad on your end, but I'm hearing a little bit of feedback. Honestly, I'm good. I think that we got a hot topic, a nice, good schedule for you guys. So, Connor, why don't you let us know what's going to be going down on the podcast today?
Let's do it. Yeah. So, but first, how close are you to Canada? Because I didn't know that, and I'm bad at geography.
Like 45 minutes.
Oh, dang! You're even closer than I am.
Pretty
An
close.
Hour and a half.
Yeah. It's somewhere around there. Yeah.
They'll let us back in someday. Nice, man. Well, today's rundown. Celebrations has been released. There has been just a slew of Instagram posts, YouTube videos, commentary, openings, you name it. Mm-hmm. We've seen it, on the English side, at least. So we're going to talk about kind of our post-release thoughts, what we liked, what we didn't like, what met our expectations, what maybe underwhelmed us, overwhelmed us. And then springing off of that, talk a little bit about what we want to see between now and the 30th anniversary. Crazy to think that, we're already moving on to that, but we got a crazy 5 years ahead of us. So it's going to be exciting. Then we're going to start a new segment where we're going to pick a dollar amount and as collectors, say where we think would be a great place to put that money to work in the hobby today. A good way to get a great bang for your buck on a certain dollar amount to grow your collection as a Pokemon collector. And then, of course, we are going to hit it with over-under to finish it off, everyone's favorite segment. So why don't we kick it off with your thoughts, Rob? What'd you think of celebrations? How much did you open? What cards did you get? What'd you like? What you didn't like? I want to know.
Yeah, man, for sure. So all in all, I think that it was a great set. I think it did exactly what it was supposed to do. I think it was fun. It was nostalgic. And I think that a lot of people are enjoying opening this set. And like, for me, it's got to be like one of the biggest factors. Like, am I having fun doing this stuff? Like, or am I just spending money trying to chase like one or two cards from the set? Like the fundamentals are there for this set. I opened up 2 ETBs. Luckily on opening day, I was able to go. I grabbed a few for the sealed collection just to kind of, keep. And then I opened up 2. I love that you get the Gold Star Greninja in each one. So those are awesome. And the pull rates were phenomenal. Like it was really, really fun to open up the set, to see those old school cards. I like the texture on the cards. I think that was a really good addition. And I mean, I think I got like 5 to 6 classic collection pulls out of each ETB. Like that's really good out of just, what is it, 10 packs of celebrations in the ETBs. And then you get
in the regular ones. Yeah.
So that's what I like. That's kind of like my first, kind of thoughts in regards to that. Now, the negative for me, I do have some of the cons for me is that one of the biggest factors of whether a set is going to do well or not for me personally is it fun to open and the condition of the cards. And for me, it was fun to open, but the condition of the cards were really poor that I got. I think there was only one out of all the pulls that I got, the hollows, the full arts, whatever, that has a shot at a PSA 10. Most of them had centering issues that were pretty bad. Couple little bit of white nicks in the corner on the bottom, stuff like that, which is kind of a bummer. So I think that was the first part. The second part is I'm not the biggest fan of the hollow foil, like how it's like a little shattered kind of look to it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of it bled through the texture. Like if you look at like the EXs, like a lot of it like covers the whole entire Pokemon and it kind of gets hard to see. So for me, that's kind of a problem. And then the last part is like I have a hard time getting over that 25 symbol, the Pikachu, you know?
Yeah.
Because for me, the
There are
reason why
definitely cards where they could have switched the side. That would have made sense. If they like put it on the other side of the card, it would have made sense. Maybe a little smaller.
yeah, I mean, you could just do like a normal set symbol, like in the corner somewhere, just a little small 25 Pikachu that is not so distracting. Um, uh, for me, I really have a hard time opening up a set when I'm looking at the card and there's something not aesthetically pleasing about it. And for me, that was that 25 symbol. It just looked off. My eye would go right to that symbol every single time. And so as I'm opening these cards, the quality wasn't that good. It was fun to see the artwork, but it almost felt like cheap. You know what I mean? Like opening these cards, it just didn't feel like anything was something that I wanted to grade, something that I really wanted to like add to my collection, or even that I think is going to be super investable down the line, you know? And that's just me. That's just my own like personal thoughts. So I can't open up something that I'm not attracted to the cards or the artwork, because that's why I'm here. I love the look of Pokemon cards. I love the art. I like following specific illustrators. That's my thing. And when you have a big old fat symbol that's distracting you from that, it would be like something like hanging on the wall back there, you know, that you enjoy your artwork. And then it's like, boom, this is a reprint. And it's just like,
Yeah.
you know, like, I don't know. It's just,
Yeah.
it's kind of a bummer. But all in all, I think it was a super cool set, did its point, and got a lot of people excited for the 25th anniversary. How about you, dude?
Yeah. Yeah. So I agree with a lot of those points. I opened not one of every product, but I opened like the Charizard box, the Sylveon box, the Pikachu V Union box,
Mm-hmm.
the pin collection, which is I put it on my bag, but this pin is one of the greatest things that Pokemon has ever created, with the freaking surfing and flying
Super
Pikachu
cool.
together. The thing is awesome. And then one of each ETB, because I got 3 Pokemon Center ETBs, and I wanted to open one like for the channel and to show people what's inside and for me to enjoy what was inside, which is like silly because that's going to be one of the things that probably holds longer term value, is a Pokemon Center ETB, because they were hard to get, despite the fact I've been seeing people with cases of them online, which I do not understand.
Mm-hmm.
But so I opened a good amount, right? Probably more than you, right? Because it's like 10 and 13 packs in those 2 ETBs, and then 3 to 5 in the other ones. I pulled every classic collection card I wanted except for Rocket Zapdos, and I traded my buddy for it. I didn't pull the Zekrom or Reshiram. I didn't pull the Xerneas. I didn't pull base Charizard, which I don't really care. But man, when I like pulled that birthday Pikachu or Dark Gyarados, like shout out how many Himeno cards were in the classic collection. They did her such a like service in like in the good way. So I was really stoked about that, because that is my favorite artist. So I got to enjoy like a couple of those, like the Cleffa and the birthday Pikachu and the Dark Gyarados. So that was rad. This guy, I'll take a binder full of these. I mean, I think it's freaking beautiful. To your point, the stamp could certainly be smaller. It's funny that they threw it on the other side for this one. They threw it on the left side, but yeah. So I think something that was really cool about this set, despite the fact that like I'm good, I'm done, I do not need to open any more of this ever, is that for the first time in a while, that little like lingering notion in the back of my head of, oh man, there might be a valuable card in here, it wasn't there, because I knew like how, I mean, off the get, people were selling them for silly prices, but we knew this was printed into oblivion. It was meant to be enjoyed to appreciate the history of Pokemon.
Right.
And it was just like, I felt some pure enjoyment, like just trying to pull that classic collection card, because I think they're so cool, like with the texture and the hollow and everything. Like, yes, it's not perfect. It's not everyone's aesthetic, but it's still like, it was a very cool, I think, like thought or idea that they came up with to do that. Like, I think it made a lot of sense. It made the set really cool. It certainly is going to have people thinking about, other parts of the hobby and, other parts of history in the hobby and getting curious about them, which is going to be great, because I think a lot of people are being pulled in, assuming they can get product. More products coming out this Friday, especially at your local GameStop, you can get stuff. We got the Kanto First Partner Pack still coming out. Like, there's going to be a lot of this to be enjoyed, which I think will be good. So yeah, I think like, they could have done a lot of things with this set, right? And I think that some of the idea, earlier this year we talked about, hey, are they going to do a Neo Genesis reprint like they did for Evolutions? But I think there's a lot in the hopper, and we'll talk about that. I did get the Cleffa. I got the first baby Pokemon, right? Or one of the first, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we got that. That was cool. But yeah, I think it was just a different spin, right? I think it was them testing something out, them trying out different ideas. And I definitely, I enjoyed it to the full. Obviously gets a little repetitive with the base cards, but it's cool to have a binder full. Some beautiful cards like the Oaks Research, but the only thing I wish they had really done is thrown in some secret rares, like just for the heck of it. But I get why they didn't, because this was just a different kind of set, right? So, but yeah, I had fun. Thought it was great. Really enjoyed it. Probably overhyped, but still like very enjoyable. So I think there's some good balance to be struck there. And I think there's going to be and has been plenty of product out there for most people, not everyone. So
yeah, and I think what's really cool about it is that, take the Umbreon Gold Star, even like the base set Charizard, like most people, including myself, we're not lashing out, $10,000+ for a PSA 10 version of that card, or even like a PSA 9 version of that card. You look at base set Charizard, you're looking at least $1,000, and that's a steal.
Yeah.
Like at least 1,000. People don't have $1,000 to spend on Pokemon cards. Like, I don't have $1,000. I have to be very selective when I get to that price point of what I'm going to do. So I think it's really cool that we could just enjoy the hobby, get some graded copies of some cards that are like grail items to a lot of people, or relive our, childhood, whatever it is. And I think Celebrations was able to provide that.
Yeah. Nothing like pulling a Dark Gyarados or a base set Venusaur. Like, for me, like it was so nostalgic. It was so fun. So that was really cool. And I think they did a really good job with the branding on some of the stuff, like the mini tin case. Oh my goodness.
So cool.
Slapped on product. Even though I said mini tins were my number one, I even slept on the case itself. Great aesthetic.
Beautiful artwork.
Yeah. And to your point, I don't think there's going to be a lot of, value long-term in this stuff. Maybe in like an ultra premium collection.
Yeah.
Maybe in the Pokemon Center ETBs, but like this is really a set that was just meant to be, opened and enjoyed. And there is going to be, to your point about grading, like there's cards from this set I guess I would like to grade just for myself, but they're so like low on the rung for me because like, I don't know, there's just so like, it's a nice binder set. It really is, it kind of brings it back to that core collectability of throwing a card in a binder and just flipping through it every now and then. And 5 years from now on the 30th, look back, look at my binder full of the 25th. And, it's, I don't know, it's I think they took a good tactic with it to make it more collectible in that sense, right? More like the core of the hobby. So
Yeah. And I do think that some of the product will be investable, and in the sense that if you think about the majority of people, they're going to be like, oh, 25th anniversary is a big milestone, and so I'm going to keep some of this product. And even like, the ETBs from 20th anniversary, like they're above $500. So if you went in store and got it for 40 and you held on to a couple, like it's a pretty good return in 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not bad. Now I'm not saying go and spend your paycheck on it to hoard it and to like rely on this growth. But I have a couple ETBs that I'm saving for the future, because I do still think that people will want to buy it later down the line. Like me personally, I wouldn't spend $500 on an ETB from 5 years ago. Like it's just not what I'm collecting. It's not, but there's going to be a lot of people out there that will. So I do still think that there's going to be some investability options. I don't think that like the regular boxes, like the Lance's Charizard or the Sylveon, V box, I don't think that they're going to do too well, because if you think about it, there's only like 4 celebrations packs. And for me, it's all about the shipping, the shipping cost.
Yeah.
It's going to really cut into some of those profit margins down the line, because it's really tough to ship that size and how it is. That box is a weird shape, and so you can't really fit it into like a small bubble mailer that costs only $3 to ship, first class. And you gotta, pretty much ship like medium priority, just because of the size of the box. It's tough to find good prices on it. And so like, let's say that you buy it for 20 or 25, whatever it is, how long are you going to have to hold it for it to go up to 50, or even 40? How long is it going to have to be? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and then you got to ship it, you got to, cost. Like, so for me, I think that certain items are going to be more collectible and investable, and they're going to grow a little bit faster over time, especially those ultra premium collection boxes with the gold cards. Those things are dope, man. Those
are pretty
cards, cool. Oh man, they look good.
If I had to choose one, I'd probably prefer the collector box though, with the Pikachu statue, because I think, and I'll talk about that later and over underrated, but I think that's really cool. I want to figure out how, even maybe just as the jumbo, and get my hands on a couple more of these and try to grade one of these down the line. They did this card is fantastic.
Yeah.
Both the V Union and this jumbo, the texture, and this is on the other V Union cards too, because someone sent me a Greninja one. The like texture on the black border of these is sick. Like the way it looks,
super textured,
just very aesthetically pleasing to me. So I think this is going to be one that's really cool, even just to display like this, put it on my Pikachu shelf back there. But I'm pretty stoked about that. I know that I think Beckett does it where they grade, like, with the legend cards. That I've seen slabs where it's the 2 legend cards in the same slab.
Oh, really?
So yeah. I haven't seen many of them, but they exist. Yeah, from Beckett. So
that's nuts.
I'm sure we'll be putting 4 together in a Beckett slab at one of these points, or maybe CGC, because they've got comic slabs size, right? They're going to be doing jumbos soon, guarantee it. But I think that was a great card. A lot of people are going to want that. But yeah, to your point, like I had extra product, so I sold to a couple different of my friends, like at my cost. I was like, hey, here's my cost, add a couple bucks for shipping. Here's 10 packs or whatever, or 5 packs. So I just like broke down stuff, because those boxes are ridiculous. Like the way there's so much plastic, they're so like odd. So the only people that are going to be like players in that space are people who have like cases of those and have like warehousing capability, or a big basement hoard full. Like, maybe some of those people can keep them nice. And a lot of people are making a lot of money raffling those things off nowadays, which is crazy for sure. But I just think that those are going to be tough to tough to store, tough to not
Exactly.
damage.
Yeah.
You know, no one's making acrylic cases for those things. They're just huge. Like they're so big. Like even ETBs are big, you know, like,
Mhm.
not to mention the Pokemon Center one that's even bigger, but yeah, some super displayable items, fun to collect. Had a lot of fun opening it for sure. Felt like very even keeled about it, I think, in a lot of ways, which is nice, you know.
Yeah, that's
Nice
a
to
good
not
way of
feel it
putting it.
overhyped.
That's a really good way
Yeah.
of putting it. And I felt the same way. I think that so here's the thing is I ripped the first ETB off camera. And then I was like, oh, that was actually really fun. Like I got a lot more pulls than I thought I would get. And so I was like, okay, I'll do the
Mhm.
second one live. And the same thing, you know, pull rates were like the same. I think I got like 5
Yeah.
plus. It was really cool. And again, I kind of felt a little bit bummed because the centering was off, the condition wasn't that good. So it always
Mhm.
sucks to like get like good pulls and then they're not in good condition because I'm such a grader. I like to
Yeah.
grade things, you know, like that's just who I
Yeah.
am. But I had way more fun opening up Evolving Skies. And I mean, like,
Mm.
my heart rate was through the roof because there's so many good artworks in that set, and I love the new alternate arts. I love the style of cards. They're so fun to pull. And when you get one, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like it feels really good. So to me, again, I just think that Evolving Skies, even like sets like EV Heroes and whatnot, just the cards are a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. The chase was there. I think
I'd
that,
rather open Sun and Moon base, you know, something like that. I mean, for gosh sakes, like if I go to a Walmart now, like going forward, right, for the position we're in, and, you know, anyone listening to this who hasn't gotten to open celebrations, don't take this, you know, like we're so high in money, but like, if I went in and there were like celebrations products only in like a Walmart, I would be like, yeah, I'm good.
right,
Like,
right,
and walk away, right? Because I'm like,
totally,
I'm good. And like, let's let some other people enjoy it. Like, there's plenty to be
absolutely,
had. Like, there are plenty of other things that, you know, I'd rather, like we were talking about before the cast, like, you know, VMAX Climax coming out in December on the Japanese side, and then whatever ends up on the English side. But you know me, I'm more the Japanese modern guy. That's gonna be so much fun. Evolving Skies was very cool. You know, EV Heroes, very fun. Like,
Mhm.
there is something different about those sets that have those chases and the secret rares and the alternate arts. And you know, part of that goes to like that gambling video I did the other day. Like there's something about that where, you know, that like the hit rate is so much lower, so if you do pull something, it's like crazy. um so I think that in a lot of ways this set was actually super healthy for the hobby, because like everyone's getting what they want, which
Right,
isn't like reality. But I think in a year plus where it's been so hard to get product, for people that are getting product, they're getting hits, they're enjoying it. Like they're
yeah,
getting full arts and Pikachus and classic collections and Charizards, and like they're like excited about it. And it doesn't matter if like the pull rates are insane. Like it doesn't matter if it's printed into oblivion, there's so much of it, because
right,
people are getting to like really enjoy it and not being like, I got one mini tin in the past 6 months and I got a green code card, and you know, like, and
right,
that's hard. Like, you know, and they see all these people on Instagram and YouTube, like freaking, you know, Leonhardt opening a million packs and pulling, you know, alt arts and full arts. And like, it's hard for people to like see that and not be able to enjoy it themselves. So that's the biggest reason I think this set was really good for the hobby.
yeah.
um, and I could be proven wrong. Obviously, the scalping issue is still there, but I'm really hoping it helps in that regard.
Yeah. And I think my last feedback that, you know, I was thinking of is that you're right. More products, a lot easier to come by in stores, especially for celebrations. I've just seen so much of it in my own Walmart and GameStop. But what's
Mhm.
also really cool that I didn't think about until now is that, you know, you have this younger generation or even like people that are just getting back into the hobby within like the last 2 years. that are just loving modern just because it's so dang good right
Yeah.
now. And now you get an opportunity to like pull some of these vintage cards, some of these vintage products, and it can kind of interest like a new group of people that hadn't been exposed to that before to be like, oh, these cards are cool too. Like these are the classics. Like
Yeah.
let's go back to this. And then they start doing their digging. It's good for like the vintage market as well to get people excited about that. It's like it's
Mm.
continuing that next generation, you know, and like it gets people excited about something else than what's the new gold card, what's the new alternate art, which I love, but it's also cool to like get people excited for base set, you know, and Dark Gyarados and Birthday Pikachu. Like
Yeah.
people don't know, some people don't know about Birthday Pikachu or any of these other, WotC or
Yeah.
the EX era cards. And it's a cool way to get people excited about those sets too.
That's a really good point. Yeah. And just to like educate some of that, people who are interested in the hobby, like pull a clay doll. Like, why is clay doll in the set? Well, this was hugely important to the TCG in that era, like a very playable card, very sought after, right? Even though it might not be like the craziest aesthetic loved by everyone cards, like you're so right. It like brings that appreciation and that like it piques the interest of people, I think. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be really good to have those cards out there and getting into new collectors' hands. So well, I think that's all to be said about celebrations, other than good luck at your local GameStop Friday for anyone trying to get more product. I just want a Kanto first partner pack. That's all I want left in this world. So as
So
far as
what's in that exactly? I'm not sure what's in that.
so it's these. Okay, let me grab them. So this is the Johto one. So you get the
Oh,
starter
cool.
jumbos. So you'll get Squirtle, Charmander, and Bulbasaur.
Nice.
And that's it. And I have a binder of all of them. So they came out with like a jumbo binder. I actually have one. Yeah, there's one sealed back there. But yeah, that's been one of my favorite parts of the whole year that I totally slept on. I didn't think I was gonna like them, and I really like the jumbos. I love
That's
jumbo
awesome, man.
cards. Yeah. So why don't we transition into 25th anniversary? We're in the midst of it. We're coming out of it to the other side. What are some things you want to see from Pokemon? I guess both in the trading card realm and just as a whole, between now and the 30th anniversary and 2026.
More hype, more Charizards, baby. No, I'm kidding.
Only Charizard, a whole Charizard set.
Dude, I would not be surprised if something like that happened. Like, no joke.
Oh man.
Honestly, it's going to be pretty simple for me. I want them to continue to focus on the artwork. I would love to see some type of like, so you got like the full arts, you got the alternate arts, which are just really cool. And it usually kind of like paints a picture of maybe a Pokemon just like chilling or maybe even like doing something. But I would love to see like action cards where like, like in DBZ where like you got like the guy like when like fireballs are coming at you. And it's just like,
Yeah.
whoa, like this is cool, and I don't even know anything about it, but it looks really badass. And so I think it would be really cool for just like a Blastoise to just have a hydro pump coming at you, or a Lugia just doing like an elemental blast, like across the card, and he's just looking tough. Like I think that would be really cool to have something like that. And then the other thing I would love to see is continue to bring in those older sets and have the reprints, but also introducing new styles of cards that are similar to it. So for example, maybe have a set with like a reprint like Gold Star Rayquaza, but then also in the set to have like Silver Star. So like a Silver Star Lugia or Silver Star Gengar or Snorlax or whatever, or a newer Pokemon, Lucario or whatever, like to have that level of chase and be like, hey, this is like an homage to the Gold Star era. And it's cool to pull those cards, but like maybe the big hit is a new type of card, like a Silver Star, and maybe a Pokemon that didn't get the Gold Star. Like, how did they not do a Gold Star Lugia? You know what I mean?
I know.
Like how?
I know. Swing and a miss.
So I think it would be really
too
cool.
powerful.
Oh man, it would be crazy OP.
Oh,
But I think it would be really
yeah.
cool to do something like that. I'd love to see more crystals, you know. I mean,
Mm.
talk about Lugia, Crystal Lugia. I mean, gosh, what a beautiful, stunning card.
Ah,
So
great card.
something along those lines where I think it's cool to bring back a reprint, like maybe have one in the set that you could reprint,
Mhm.
or just, you know, just introduce new Pokemon that didn't get those styles of cards before, and just a little unique twist on it that doesn't look the exact same, but something similar.
Mm.
How about you?
Those are really good. Those are good ones. You know, I so kind of in the similar vein to like the action ones, I would love something akin to like them like repartnering with like a Tops and having a different style, like a non-TCG card
Oh,
that
yeah.
has more action or anime scenes or something like that. Um, because those have really grown on me. I'm like I didn't like Tops as much as a kid, and now I really enjoy them. So I think a partnership like that. I mean, we all know Tops is going to need something to print, so maybe we'll get a chance to see that. I then would really like to see them start to take some of the pieces from the sports card world. So numbered cards, one of ones, artist signature cards, or even like the Weiss Schwartz type where it's like an embossed signature card, right? Some of those like cool different types of cards. You know, maybe with the signature, the voice actor, right? And it's kind of that crossover of like kind of the Tops idea.
I
Something
like
I
the
was talking about
signatures.
with oh, they'd be really cool. Like
Like,
these for anyone that's watching, like these are amazing. Like the way they
yeah.
emboss the signatures onto these for Weiss Schwartz are absolutely beautiful. Like if you did that with, you know, like, you know, um, Sarah or whatever, who was the voice of Ash. Like if you had that in a set, I think it'd break people's brains, you know?
Or even just like with
And then something
the,
I was talking about today with Tom from, oh,
oh,
go
sorry.
ahead.
I think we're getting some connection issues.
No, you're good.
What I was going to say
Yeah,
is
I
even
think
if they
we're a little
have,
technical, but we're good. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, even if we have like illustrators, like, I forget exactly what promos they're from, but it's pretty recent. I think within like 2015 or 16, where Mitsuhiro Arita signed the Pikachu and the Mew, and it's got like the full hollow on it, like a reverse hollow from Southern Islands,
Mm,
that type of look. And those are really cool cards.
yeah. Yeah. And they did the one with they did a Marnie signature card, right? And a couple other trainers. They did them a couple of years ago, and then they either just announced them or they did do them. I forget, like trainer cards. But and then something I was talking about from with Tom from Pancake Analytics, who just like mentioned almost with like reprint. Pokemon would partner with someone. They do this in the sports world where they get their hands back or buy back vintage cards, and then they number them, right? So you take an Eevee from Jungle, they get 25 of those, they number them 1 through 25, and they insert them back in a set, right? Or like the
Mm.
inserts where you have to like send it in. Like imagine opening a pack and getting an insert that you then like redeemed online or sent back to them, and they sent you a graded card. Like how cool would that be, just to like hybrid the collecting like ecosystem, right? So I think that would be super fun.
Hold on. So
um
on that note, are you talking about like the play promo idea where you get a card and then you mail it in, then you get like the next level up, or you're literally getting like you're winning like a free graded card?
yeah, like that, more like an insert where it's like they do it with sports, like where it's like you have to redeem the card or whatever. So
Okay.
but I would love to see them bring back the trade please, you know, promo again. Oh my gosh, like from they did obviously like in the vending Watsy or vintage era in Japan, and then they did it with in Diamond and Pearl in 2007 and 2008, where you like went into the participating stores, you could swap the cards or whatever. And that whole like anything that just like anything that one gives a nod to the history of Pokemon, and two, like involves some sort of like action or some sort of like participation needed on the part of the collector to like get that card, I think is so cool. Like that would be awesome.
I really like those ideas.
So yeah. The Pokemon company should hire us. Here we are. Are you listening, Pokemon? We can find someone to fix your website too.
Oh man.
Oh no.
Shots.
Oh Lord.
It's out
I
there.
tell you, we didn't talk about this. The one other celebrations thing that I wanted was the lunchbox thing, the collector chest. And I was in New York City this week for work, and I saw that they dropped on Pokemon Center, and I freaking got it from an elevator with like no connection. I was like, just one, please. And I got it. So
nice,
because that has the light toxicity promo, which is easily one of the best cards in the whole Celebrations promo set. So
I agree.
And I think that's gonna be really cool to have. So, but yeah, those are what I want to see. And then just, I think, in that vein of kind of the Topps idea and all these other ideas is like, what do they do? Do they have sets geared towards collectors and sets geared towards players? Do they continue to create this hybrid version? Do they like focus on like decks, like what they're doing in Japan with that like 400 or however, maybe it's more than that card set where you can like buy the decks and all of them are different. It's like, maybe it's 1,000 cards. I forget. It's a ridiculous set. It's crazy. So like you buy the deck and they're all like kind of different. I forget if they're like 100 card deck or something, but like, did they go that route where like that's geared, maybe that's geared more towards the players with like the decks and other things. And then like the sets are more geared towards collectors, or they hybrid them, or they, I would like to see them do less sets too, or less cards in each set, like a little less,
I want to see less sets.
I don't know. Yeah.
Because
go ahead.
No, you go.
All I was going to say is like, they're not incentivized to print less sets because people are going to buy them. So I don't know if we'll ever see it happen. But gosh, as a collector, like now you got to pick and choose, right? Like I'm skipping. I mean, I'm sure I'll pick up a blister here and there, like something with a promo in it or whatever. I'm basically skipping fusion arts, even though we got, Attack on Titan Espeon in there. I'm still probably going to mostly pass on that set because there's only so much money and so much time for cardboard. And I don't know. I'm okay not pulling a Mew. I'm good. As much as I love Gen 1 Pokemon, it's like you can only collect so much.
Yeah.
Right. So it's hard.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. Like, give me a second to catch up, like let me enjoy the set.
Yeah.
Let me enjoy what's going on. I feel like I open something and I have a couple weeks to kind of watch some stuff. And then it's like, oh, new leak is out for 2 sets ahead of time. It's not even like the next set. It's like, we're like,
I know,
like our attention span is just so small and like, we're so addicted to what's next. And like, I mean, God, I can only speak from experience on Instagram, and just I'm scrolling. And I'm like, it's constantly like, I need the next hit. I see some crazy big post and it's like, okay, cool for 2 seconds. And then I'm on to the next one. And it's the same thing with the Pokemon community. It's like, okay, the whole set's released. I see it. Great. What's next? Like, what's the next big thing? And it's just like, man, let's just take a second to slow down, enjoy the set, enjoy the artwork, enjoy the commons, uncommons, take a look, like build out binders, whatever, like let's enjoy what we have at hand and not just look for the next thing, that's just how I feel.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they're really playing, right into what society has become, which is, to your point, super short attention spans, like instant gratification, like very visual driven, like dopamine hit, like it just, it makes total sense what they're doing, right? And we're feeding right into it. And
Oh
then,
yeah.
the other thing I would say is that, I'm sure you feel this way, as a content creator, which is crazy to call myself that, but I guess that's what I am. Like, I would love, if I wasn't making content, I would be like one set, maybe two sets behind at all times. Like, that's the easiest way to do it, right? It's like, shoot, I'd be opening, Chilling Rain right now and just waiting it out, like, or hope maybe, I mean, it'd be hard because of FOMO, but like, I feel like as content creators, it's like we want to have it on the drop because we want to show it off, because we want to, like, even subconsciously, like, drive hits, drive engagement, bring people in, for people like us, right? Guys like us who are, I think we're adding more value than just pack openings, right? But it's a way for us to draw in the audience, right? Like,
Right.
I put a reel opening this freaking, celebrations tin, and it got like 4,000 or 5,000 views. Like, for me, as someone who has 1,500 followers on Instagram, like, I consider that a lot, right? It's kind of weird. So
Yeah, dude,
it
that's huge.
draws people in, like, it's weird. It's, and I have a buddy who's like big on the analytics and understands it really well. And he's grown his page over, it's his 1-year anniversary right now, Catch a Craze. And, he's got over 5,000 subs, and like the engagement is just off the hook. And it brings people in, man. But like, it's hard. It's hard because
Yeah.
there's some of that pressure. Like if I'm not opening fusion arts, like, am I just gonna, no one's gonna care, right? But I think what's good about, guys like us is that we have a pretty good core following, and they enjoy, like, the content that we provide, not just like reels of us opening packs. But it's hard, it's like, to what end are we chasing after all those sets? But yeah, would love to see less sets or just some different schedule. It's just become a little too much. It's a lot of years ahead to spend money on Pokemon. We're gonna have to really pick and choose.
And it really,
It's been a
like,
weird period, right?
yeah, and it also plays into that, like, how well are these sets going to do down the line? Like, how many people are going to remember, fusion art or whatever, battle styles, or some of these sets that, like, people are spending a lot of money on, like, out of the 10 to 12 sets that get released a year, whatever it is, however many it is, like, over the years, how many people are going to remember that specific card from that specific set, whether it's graded or not, or sealed product, whatever, that's going to, like, drive that value up and has, like, potential to go up over time. Like, because there's so many sets, there's so much newer stuff. It's always fun when it's new, because you're chasing, again, that high, that dopamine. You want the next best set. You want to be opening up stuff on Instagram, not even just us as content creators, but everybody wants to be wanted.
Everyone.
Everybody wants to have people look at their page and, look at what I just pulled, whatever. Like, it's just in our human nature. And so, like, over time, how much of that shine will wear off from these newer sets, from these, modern sets that we're looking at, and, like, how well are they going to do over time? You know what I'm saying? And so that's like another thing to consider. But again, Pokemon companies just making so much money off this stuff, and they've just figured out the system, how to play into that gambling addiction, and, like you said, kind of like instant gratification. And they've found out a way to make it look like, oh, we're doing this now, we're doing that now, and people like it. They're listening to collectors, and so collectors are saying, like, yes, like, they're doing what we want, and look at all this cool art, and it's, like, really fun. It's just like, man, how many sets are going to go by the wayside, like, over the years, that people are just not going to remember, and they're pouring money into it, or buying these graded cards or whatever, and it's just going to, like, it's just going to be another set, another, notch on the belt, as to say,
Yeah. Yeah, we're entering a dangerous phase of the pendulum swinging too far and there being too much. which could certainly be like detrimental to the hobby for sure. So I think, you know, hopefully they have a good strategy team and they know when the right time is to pull back, but they're taking full advantage of the hype right now, right? Which
Oh
makes
yeah.
total sense, right? It's just what a weird period to be collecting cardboard. It's crazy. Just no one could have ever expected that it would be like this. And I don't know where it goes, but I do know that a lot's going to happen between now and the 30th. And I think Pokemon needs to be very careful not to misstep or make mistakes. And they're very deliberate with the things they do. And I just hope they stay in touch with their consumer base, and aren't just playing into the kind of social hype, right? Because it's to your point, people just want to be known and loved, right? They just want to like they're looking for something, and a lot of times they look for that thing in, you know, material possessions or, you know, admiration from friends and likes and comments and all these things, because they have that, you know, quick hit, you know, satisfaction, but it doesn't last. And then
Oh
they're just
yeah.
looking for the next one and the next one. And it's very hard. It's a very slippery slope. And so I hope that, you know, I hope that people can listen to us and listen to other great content creators out there who are much more seasoned than us, and understand that, you know, there's a lot more to life than just collecting. And it's, you know, again, it comes back to that, you know, I'm more excited about the relationships I'm going to cultivate over the next 5 years of the hobby than any single card I'm going to pick up in the hobby, right? Like truly,
Totally, man.
like,
Yeah.
and I have to keep that perspective, or else this thing will just bury me and I'll be gone, because I'll be burned out and tossed to the side, because there's just way too many big fish to try to compete with. So you have to be doing it because you love it and you love the community that you're a part of. Which we're more connected to than ever now, because of, you know, a lot of reasons, social media and the popularity of the hobby. So I think just keep establishing those, you know, relationships over the next 5 years, and how can Pokemon continue to facilitate that is going to be super, super important. I think the online TCG game might help, or something more like social around that. I know there's like the iPhone app now or whatever for that. So, you know, maybe something like that keeps people more connected. We'll see, but it's going to be a crazy ride. Oh my goodness. Hopefully we'll be still doing podcasts in 5 years and be looking back on this and be like, hey, we were right. Tops took over. Silver Star Lugia.
Right.
Man, that'd be cool. So yeah, man, any other thoughts on the future of the hobby, or the hopes and dreams?
No, man. I think that's a lot of what I want to see. You know, I think it's really
Yeah.
true that, you know, I'm looking forward to the relationships. And, you know, just today, Pokedems reached out to me on Instagram, was just like, hey, I think
Yeah,
what
he's a good dude.
you and Connor are doing, you know, is really fun. And, you know, your content's awesome, and all this stuff. And it's just like I met so many cool people through Instagram, through YouTube, through like doing this stuff. And like, man, if I was a guy that was like purely doing this for views and likes and subscribers, like I would have been out a long time ago. Cause like there have been
Yeah,
times where like I'll
that's for
put out a
darn sure.
video and I put in like 20 hours into it and I gain like 1 subscriber or no subscribers. Like it's happened
Yeah,
before, you know? And so I'm not in it for all that. If they come, it's always nice. I always appreciate it. Everybody wants to grow, but just the relationships, man, of how many people I've been able to meet. It's crazy. It's really cool.
I think the cool perspective on that is, as another note, is like, for us as content creators or whatever, like there's a very wide gap, right? There's like a lot of people like kind of are, I mean, obviously your YouTube channel is a lot bigger than mine, but like around our quote unquote size. And then there's like this huge gap. And then there's like the biggest players, right? And like,
Right.
I think we're resigned to the fact that like, we're probably never going to be like the biggest players in the space unless we just outlast everyone somehow. But it gives us a good niche, right? We
Yeah.
have our communities. It's way more fun. Like I'm a like small group of friends, deep relationships kind of guy. So like social media is actually super overwhelming for me because it's like too much. Like it's wild that I have that many people connected to me almost. But I can't imagine like being one of those the huge creators. It's like I like a smaller knit, kind of group. So my
I hear you.
community that I have that I talk to, it's strong. I enjoy it. Growing's great, but reaching more people, especially with the kind of the personal finance avenue I'm taking with videos, right? To use this as a medium to educate is great when we get more people in. But I'm very thankful for the people that do watch and who are connected and who reach out and DM, comment.
Oh,
It's
definitely.
it's very cool. So well, let's maybe we'll move on to our last topic before over under. So new segment. We're going to, from time to time, pick a dollar amount and say, hey, I'm a new collector in the hobby, or I'm a seasoned collector in the hobby and prices are crazy. So how can I enjoy the hobby with a set budget that I have, right? So for this week's episode, we are going to say, hey, I've got $100 as a collector to spend in the Pokemon hobby on stuff I enjoy to, collect up different avenues of the hobby. How can I best, bang for my buck, get the most out of that $100? So why don't you go first, Rob? What do you got?
And I just put it away like a dummy.
Oh, you're gonna pull out the specific products. Heck yeah, let's go.
Yeah. So, oops, here we go.
Oh yeah.
So Japanese Diamond and Pearl booster packs. So here's a couple. I forget what each one of these for. This is like Secret of the Lakes or something like that. But
Yep. The Secret of the Lakes, that Pikachu, so good.
There's just a lot of phenomenal artworks and they're going for relatively cheap. I just saw, what is it, Temple of Anger or something like that. I forget if it, I think it's Legends Awakened on the English side. It just went for like
Yeah.
$60 at auction. And I was so bummed because I was looking at that specific one, hoping to snag it. And they're just going under the radar right now. Like a lot of them are going under the radar. I think that they have been selling for about that $100 mark. There's one on eBay right now that I have pulled up that is DP4, I believe it is. And it's Chase of the Moonlight. Yeah. And so it's booster pack. It's $90. Or best offer. And like for me, I just think that it's a great way to collect a vintage, semi-vintage pack. It's sealed product, so you can do a lot of different things with it. You can open it to have fun. You can hold on to it. Sealed product tends to do pretty good. It's like a pretty safe investment, if you kind of wanted to go down that route. And it has a guaranteed hollow in every single pack, so it's not like you have to worry about lights or am I going to pull hollow or not. So for me, having that guarantee in there just seems like it makes me feel good to know that I have different options, moving forward. So I think that with $100, somewhere around that mark, like those Japanese DP packs, I think that they're pretty good bang for your buck. I think I got that for like $250. So like each pack is less than $100. I think if you can get a pack for less than 100 for that era, you're sitting pretty good.
That's awesome. Great display piece. Really, if you want to open it, you can. If you want to keep it sealed, have that optionality, you can.
Mm-hmm.
Great display.
How about you?
Even if you do open it, you can display it. So for me, I kind of think about it. All right. Let's say like there's a card you really like. Maybe it's like a $100 PSA 9, right? Or 75 to $100. Can we find that card in maybe a CGC 9 or a CGC 8.5 for $50, right? Can we really put that money to work in a better way and still get a cool display piece, maybe for our desk at work or our desk at home, or whatever for the shelf behind us in our office, whatever. I think that's like a great way to get a better bang for your buck on like a graded card display piece. And then from there, I would maybe try to pick up, as a collector, like some sort of modern to semi-modern ETB at retail, right? So if you get a random sun and moon base, ETB at Walmart for $40, right? That's like a cool get. It's a great display piece. Or you could open it and then you've got all this stuff, right? You've got the dice and the dividers and the energy cards that no one really wants unless you're playing, and packs to open, right? And you don't have to open them all at once. You can open one and then maybe one later and save it. Then the code cards are in there so you can play the online TCG game. Like those go a really long way because they have all these cool like little pieces, and then you get you get the collecting box with it too, obviously, right? This is when ETB becomes. So pretty neat. You get the player guide in there. You get to see the whole set, something like that. So if you get the CGC 9 to display for $50 and you get a ETB for 40, and then maybe like a 2 or 3 pack blister that comes with a promo and a coin for like $8 to $12, because then you're get a guaranteed cool promo that you can see already and if you're gonna like it or not. You get a couple modern packs to open to start a binder collection or whatever, or enjoy with your friends or your kid or whatever. So that's probably where I'd go. It gives you that like balance of like, you can buy a cool display piece, even like a vintage card for $50, like easy. There's tons of those. Not saying it's a great value, like meaning that $50 card might be 25 in 6 months, but a good way to, like, in today's environment, take advantage of a discrepancy between like a PSA graded and a CGC, and then some modern to enjoy and see if, you like the new stuff, right? Or, you like some of the semi-modern, or even to your point, like with Diamond and Pearl, like if you like that era, maybe that you didn't grow up with, right? But that you want to know more about. So yeah, I think that you can get a cool little variety pack there. So that's where I go today with $100 all day long. So
I think that and I talked about this and did a little segment in my last video, is that CGC there's some really good deals right now for 8.5s, 8s, 9s, and you compare it to the PSA counterpart, and some of these cards at PSA are going for twice as much. And it's just like, I can buy CGC, enjoy it in a slab right now up until the point where they reopen, either cross grading or at much lower, submission level at $20-$30 or whatever, and still get that for like a significant decrease if I were to just outright buy it at PSA. And so like, I don't think that like every grading company is as solid as CGC. And what I mean by that is like how strict they are, how hard they grade. And so like, if I know I'm getting like a CGC 8.5 or a CGC 9, most likely it's going to cross grade into a PSA 9 because they're stricter. But you get other grading companies like GMA or PGA or whatever the heck it is, and I've looked at the condition of these ones. Like I was looking at, what was it? A Gold Star Alakazam or something like that, and a PMA 10 or PCA 10, and even the label looked kind of cool. I was like, oh, this is kind of dope. And I looked at the card and it's like tons of edge wear, way off center,
destroyed.
Yeah, and I'm just like, okay, this is not even close to a 10. Even PSA 10, which are a lot more lenient. So I like CGC as a good option because it is really affordable right now, and I feel like it wasn't too expensive for people to grade. So I feel like more people, like initially, now it's like what, $27 or whatever. So I feel like people are willing to sell it for a little bit less as compared to, grading at, the new cost or whatnot. So, and there's a lot coming back from CGC now.
Yeah.
You can get like really good deals on
like
those cards.
$7.
Yeah, exactly.
I think even now, if you have the membership, it's like maybe 20 or 21 a card with subgrades. But yeah, people were banging out cards for like $7, $8, $9 a card.
Right.
Or and they're willing to let it go for 25, and that's great for them, great for a collector. At least for now. It's about downside risk mitigation, right? Even as a collector, because you want your money to go far, right?
Absolutely.
So if, I don't know, I think it hurts less to have a $100 or a $50 card go to 25 than it does a $100 card go to 50. The percentage is the same, but your wallet hurts more on the 100 to 50. So
absolutely.
Totally agree. It's just about the card, right? I was looking at a SGC card the other day, and I asked the guy for more picks, and he never got back to me, so I just moved on. But it was priced super cheap compared to the current market, and it looked nice, but I couldn't see the surface well enough to know. But it was like a good, probably like 25% lower than a PSA or CGC, like 25 to like 35, depending on which one it was. So it was like 155, and they usually go 175 to 225, depending. It was a Japanese Dark Charizard.
Nice.
So I was like, I don't know. I've never held one of these slabs before. It looks nice, but who knows? Is it a 9? I don't know. So I think our point with this segment is to let people know that whatever your budget is, there's still a way to enjoy the hobby. Absolutely. So I'm looking forward to doing this more, because I think it's going to be super fun. I think it's going to help people at all levels. Yeah.
And I kind of also have one, if we want to segue into under over, because it's part of my under.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So and I recently just bought this with money that I got from Swag Bucks. And for those of you guys who don't know, it's basically affiliate marketing, and it's just an easy extension that you can install on your, Google Chrome or whatever browser you're using. And you get 1% cash back on all purchases, for that particular site. Some sites it's like 5 or 10 or 20, like you go on Macy's and you're getting like 50% cash back or something, because they're just dying. But for eBay, it's 1% cash back, and that
1%
that adds
adds up.
So
yep, I'm the same way. I use Honey and Rakuten.
Yeah, whatever it is. And so I had like $70, I think $70-$80.
Nice.
That I just kind of had accumulated, and so I bought 20 amazing rares, Japanese.
Yes. Let's go. Bring back amazing rares, baby. Let's go.
So I got 10 Kyogre and I got 10 Reshiram, and they were less than $5 a piece.
That's awesome. Where the heck are mine? I don't know. They're somewhere.
And
that's rad.
And they're all mint. I think about more than half of them are gem mint condition. And so it's a really cool way to, like, you can collect all the amazing rares for very, very affordable, very, very affordable. And it plays into my under, because $5 for one of these cards, it just seems obscene. And I think even like SM Pratt had talked about this in his over under and his MRR, that he kind of goes into, or his MMR, the monthly market recap. And he was like, dude, I just bought like 1,000 these Japanese Kyogre amazing rares because they're going for $4 a piece. And he's like,
they hit the floor.
It's just crazy.
They've literally bottomed out. Like, I'll never call the bottom, but man, amazing rares, like, just are so cheap now. They're so, compared to what they were, at least. Oh my goodness.
Right.
So yeah, I can see them they're on the shelf behind you. You got slabs up there, don't you?
I got a couple there. Nice. I got a couple laying around, and I mean, I got CGC 9.5s for like $25-$30.
Oh yeah. And I'm selling them at that all day long because it cost me like $7 to grade them.
Right. Yeah.
See, it proves our point from before. Everybody wins. I mean,
absolutely.
I got some for myself. I'm selling. I mean, it's great. It's awesome. So
So I think that's another thing that you can do with $100 that I just did. And I even did it pretty much for free. I ended up paying like $20 because it was a little bit more
Mm.
than what I had, but really cool artwork. And you think about where these come from, Shiny Star V boxes, you get like 1 to 2 in each box.
Mhm.
Boxes are like, right now, they've actually come down a bit. They're like about 88 to 90 right now. So you can find some for like 86 if you really do some digging. But
Yeah, that third wave hit
like
unexpectedly.
that's still like, good value if you're just getting one. You're not
Hmm.
getting a ton like in Vivid Voltage, where I'm seeing people pull
Hmm.
four amazing rares out of, the boxes that just, make it very easily accessible. I mean, don't get me wrong, these are as well, but it I feel like from where they come from, you do get one guaranteed, but for $5, less than $5, it just seems very, very affordable. I can send these in once, grading reopens at a lower level. Hopefully it opens at like 30, maybe even $40, $4 to buy it. And even if you want to go ahead and sell it, PSA 10s are going for like anywhere between like 80 to, 150, depending on which one it is. That's still really good profit margin if you wanted to go that route. But for me, I love the artwork, and I could have a whole entire shelf of just amazing rares, graded amazing rares, because they just look really good.
They're so awesome.
Yeah.
That's one thing I do. Back to our earlier topic, I would love to see more of them. Seriously. And Ryan, OG Retro, posted that today. It was hashtag bring back amazing rares. And it's like, it's
I
so
saw
true.
that.
They're phenomenal. They're phenomenal.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, I picked up a Celebi locally. I had never had one, and I went to like a card show. Gosh, that might have been 4 months ago now, 5 months ago. And I sent it to PSA maybe because it was in excellent condition. Like it was a 9+.
Mm.
And I was really stoked because that's a really cool card, little onion boy. So
How about you?
can't agree with you more there. So underrated non-card items in the hobby. Kind of goes back to our budget question before, right? I think there's a lot of cool ways to enjoy the hobby in other ways than just cards. Side note, really can't wait till a movie comes out in theaters for Pokemon. Like I really hope that happens because I'm sick of straight to Netflix releases. But
Mhm.
like these, like the Pikachu mood statue, super cool. My brother got this for me. He got it for me because he didn't know if they were going to sell out. So he just ordered and sent it to me early for my birthday. But on the Pokemon Center, he got me the 25th anniversary framed pin collection.
That's
Like,
awesome.
and you guys know, like, I'm a big art guy. So, like, I've got art from different, like, smaller artists that I think are just like the coolest way to enjoy the hobby and like express your love for Pokemon.
Hmm.
And I think people just like sleep on it. Like I don't think there's enough appreciation for some of the art talent in the hobby. And for some of the kind of like non TCG things. Like I'm not a big plush guy because I think it's like they take up a lot of space and I don't know how good those stay like for years, but like
Right.
there's a lot of other cool, like this was I thought really sweet. I got this off Amazon with points when it went on sale for like 50 or $60. The
Nice.
Pokeball from whatever the heck, the wand company or whatever, like cool things like that are like knickknacks or things you can put in your office or whatever. Like this Aaron Chesterman does these awesome like tattoo style arts. Like I want
That's
this
sick.
tattooed on me. Like that stuff I love that I think like man, if you there's ways to just it's like the pin I talked about earlier. Like there's just great ways to enjoy the hobby that I don't think people take enough advantage of because there's been such a laser focus, especially in the last 18 months on cards.
Yeah.
I've got vintage deck boxes. I've got what else? What else is cool that I have? The art, sealed or CIB video games. Like there's just a lot of different things you
Mhm.
can, have to enjoy the hobby. Like, so that's what I would say. That's my underrated. I think there's ways that your dollars can go a pretty far away there of something, you spend, I don't know, $20 on a frame print or $50 on a real piece of artwork, like from a new and upcoming artist that's super like aesthetic to you, like that's fantastic. That's a great way to enjoy the hobby. So that's my take. That's my underrated for the week for sure.
Nice. That's good, man. I like that.
Yeah, man. You got an overrated for us?
I was really trying to think of one, and I was having trouble doing it. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of having trouble with some overrated. Something that came to my mind, because I feel like I've touched on a lot of the big stuff that I kind of have problems with, or that I think I mean, I still think WotC boxes are extremely overrated. I mean, they're just the condition of the cards are not that good. Most of them are in the 9 range, even some are in the 8 range. You know, you're looking at like unlimited. I mean, dude, some of these like jungle fossil cards are going for like $50 in like a PSA 9 hollow, and it's just like unweighed packs are like 200.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't make sense. And it's not like the supply is so minimal. We're like, oh, we're at the very end of it. Like there's so much supply out there. It's crazy. Did you see Gemmett Pokemon's room tour that he did of his apartment in Chicago?
Not yet. I bookmarked it. Haven't watched it yet.
Go watch it
on YouTube.
It's insane. Not only I would give him my whole collection just to go live in that apartment. It's crazy beautiful.
Yeah.
But he's doing this room tour because he just moved to a new place, right? And so he's going through all of his rooms, and in each single room, even the bathroom, he's got Pokemon stuff because he's just like overflowing with how much shit he has, you know? And like
wild.
He goes into like his closet and he like just like pans up and he's like, oh yeah, those are sealed WotC cases. And it's just like, oh my gosh, there's like 15 cases. Each case is 6 boxes. It's like just one person.
There is so much unlimited base jungle and fossil out there.
It's wild.
Hilarious. People are being played. We are all being played. There are people controlling and manipulating this whole hobby. They have thousands of those boxes. Thousands.
I believe it, man.
Do not get it twisted. Do not get it twisted. It's true. From the source. It's
from Connor, the source.
It's hilarious. Me, the source, aka from people I know and trust who are the source.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah, dude. And so that's a big one for me. And it has been for a while. Like, and I grew up with WotC. I love WotC. I'm a huge base jungle fossil guy. You know, I am. That's my childhood. But I look at supply, I look at the prices, and I look at the graded cards of what's the EV of opening up boxes and even sealed packs, whatever. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't add up for me. But the thing that I'll get into that's a little controversial, and it's hard because I'm a Japanese collector, you know, and so are you, is that, and it really changed my opinion after opening up Evolving Skies, is I think modern Japanese booster boxes are overrated. I think that they're just too overvalued. Back in, you know,
all of them, high class and regular, or you're going to elaborate. Yeah.
So, you know, I'm looking at like, you could still get some sun and moon sets, you know, just, you know, 6 months ago for like $55 to $60 for these. And I've been out a couple years now. Granted, I don't think that those sets are as strong as the newer ones with the new alternate arts, and those chase cards are really cool. Granted, spending $100 on Eevee heroes and you're looking for one card, you get one hit. If you're lucky, you get 2. You get, you know, a secret rare in there as well, some type of rainbow rare. But in terms of value, I can just go buy the single or all the singles from the set for way cheaper, like half the price of a booster box almost, for like the singles, for like some of these, you know, alternate arts, you know, Leafeon or Flareon, the ones that I really enjoy the artwork for. They're not that expensive, you know, as compared to
like $20.
And like a lot of times you spend $100, you open it and you get just like the regular full art evolution, and they're cool and all, but it's not worth $100 to me. And then you even get sets that are lesser than that, you know, single strike, rapid strike, whatever, that like, I don't really care about, but they're still going for a lot of money. And so for me, after opening Evolving Skies and seeing how many pulls I was pulling from each booster box, that was a lot of fun as compared to like, oh, here's the one pull and oh, it's just a regular full art. Great. That's my box, you know? And I think the VMAXs are cool. And I think the regular artworks are awesome. But in terms of like getting a return on that money of my entertainment of opening, which I'm looking to do, I'm looking to pull something and grade it. Or overall, what's the expected value of opening each set? Should I be opening up Dream League, which I just did because there's 3 character cards in each one, plus some type of full art or secret rare. And the regular GXs are still going for like $80 to over $100 because they're sought after. Erica, Lily, and I mean, look at this card, dude. Like, where is it? Like that Reshiram and Zekrom is freaking so cool. Like I have 8 hits here out of opening up that one booster box that I got at like $90 as compared to just 1 hit from opening up this modern stuff. Like I don't think the VMAXs are going to be super expensive. And they look cool, but it's not like, oh man, I need them in my collection or I really want to chase those. So that's my rant. That's my ramble. I would love to see them back at that $55 to $60 mark for modern booster boxes. Don't know if it'll ever happen.
Yeah, and that's like the tough part about how some of those regular boxes, not the high class boxes, have kind of changed, right? Like Dream League, to your point, it was like way more enticing, right? Because you got those full art character cards, you got a secret rare, you got a lot of stuff. Now it's like, yeah, with EV Heroes, like you're getting the VMAXs, that's cool, but yeah, you're just giving 1 hit and it might be Gordy. That's happened.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's how it goes. And yeah, you're right. You could totally buy the singles. You know, for me, I like doing binder collections of Japanese sets that I really like. So I like opening, you know, 2 or 3 boxes and filling that out. Yes, I could probably piece it together, but now I can't even buy Japanese singles off of Troll and Toad anymore. They're discontinuing that. So it's a lot harder to fill out, you know, your whole set. So I think for like a set collector or binder collectors, it still can make sense. I think the high class boxes are still going to be fun. Like I'm breaking Tag Team GX this week. It's like, it's a hit in every pack.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
you could have God pack. Like it's awesome. So those are a little different, but yeah, like fusion arts, or I keep forgetting what the names are in English and Japanese, but like that one on the Japanese side, I'm like, you know, I'm not really in love with the set. Maybe you get 1 hit. Like,
same.
I don't know. You can't even buy loose packs out there because it's like a total, you know, you never know what you're getting. Like, so yeah, I think I can understand where you're coming from with that. I think that the pendulum has swung so far towards Japanese
It has,
that
man.
now the values in whether it's vintage or some modern in, you know, spending money in the English space. So we'll see what happens with that pendulum, but it's gotten, and I think that part of that is because, you know, people who are really trying to like make it as like breakers or content creators who are geared around like pack openings, like you can make way more money and have, you know, make your dollars go way farther breaking, you know, EV Heroes. If you got a box at $80 and it's got 30 packs in it and you're doing $7 packs, I mean, that's a quick, like, you know, 2x plus after your, you know, fees and shipping and stuff. Like that's, you know, it's a lot easier than, you know, some of the other sets because the volume's better, right, on the boxes. But
yeah, and if you do look at those modern, or not modern, but the box breakers like Card Economist, Royalty Gaming, something Butter, whatever, like some of these guys that like I've come across, a lot of what's on the menu, because you can just buy as you go, you PayPal and they'll open it live, you go online, a lot of it is Japanese, because you're right, you can absolutely flip that and kind of make a good profit off of it. So
yeah, if I wanted to do this, I mean, I have a direct line. I could be getting cases of Japanese, like not even, back in the day when it was Amazon. I'm talking just straight from Japan from a guy for a regular set. It's, I can get them pretty darn cheap, if I wanted to do that. Right. And that sounds exhausting, to be honest. And this ain't my full-time job. So, and I'm here for fun. Right. So,
right.
There's something about, breaking one box. Cause like, I figured, hey, might be fun to do a box break. Like, and you've done a couple before too. And like, they're cool. It's like, it's the best of both worlds. Like, it's the trifecta. We get to open it and enjoy it. People get awesome cards, and people get to watch something get open that they might never get to. Like people can't afford those boxes at $250 now for Tag Team GX. When I was buying it at, and I'll say it, I don't really care. I was buying it for $70 off Amazon.
Totally.
Whatever, 18 months ago, or not even 10 months ago. Like, like when Shiny Star V came out, you could still get them on US Amazon for like $70. Come on. Like, doesn't make any sense. So I think the pendulum swung too far there. You're right in a lot of ways. So yeah, I'll be interested to see what I'm able to get like VMAX Climax at, as far as, again, the name so ridiculous, but what we're able to get it at price wise.
I'm trying to be mature, man, but I'm just not. God. As soon as I saw the
something
release,
was lost in translation there.
Dude, as soon as I saw the release, I was dying. I was literally laughing out loud. Like, I was just like, you are kidding me. Like, is it the Japanese humor? Because they're very like, they kind of have like
coy,
manga and all these type of kind of inappropriate stuff. Like, is it just the culture? And they're just like, this is going to be hilarious.
I don't know, man. I haven't looked it up. I haven't like looked what the words are in Japanese and looked at them, because I've been trying to learn Japanese. That's a whole nother story.
That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. Hilarious. Well, my underrated is a little bit back to what we were talking about earlier. Overrated. Yep. People buying celebration singles off the get. Like paying $70 for the gold Mew, I think is crazy. Like it's the definition of insanity. The same thing happens over and over again. People FOMO, they can't get product off the get. They want the card right now. They have to have it right now. Why? I don't know, because it's just going to go into a binder or somewhere they're never even going to look at it probably. Maybe their kid, maybe it's, that's a whole different realm, right? The whole, like, I'll pay 5x just to, make my kid happy once, right? But for normal collectors, I don't understand. Like, I pulled that gold Mew out of celebrations. To be completely candid, I put it on Mercari immediately, because I was like, it makes no sense. I'm going to be able to buy this back in a year to fill out my binder for probably $5. And if I'm wrong, I'm okay with my binder being empty, but I just covered the cost of like my Pokemon Center ETB.
Right. Totally.
And I get that people want things now, but like, it's such a, just like behavioral psychology is fascinating to me.
Mm-hmm.
I refuse to buy modern singles. I just can't do it. Like off the get like that. Like something like buying Amazing Rares now at $5, that totally makes total sense. Like we've had a lot of time to like let that simmer. But I think that it's different. Like if you're, I don't know, a little more educated around it or seasoned in the hobby, and you can pick your spots, right? Or find a good deal, quote unquote. But people FOMOing hard and buying singles, like I don't even know what the Charizard's going for. And then those falling off a cliff, right? Like a couple of days later, all those were like cut in half, right?
Right. I agree.
I don't even know like what's going on with Gold Star Umbreon, which I pulled one of, and I'm like, I don't know.
One just sold PSA 10 for $860.
I saw you posted that. That's so how much does it cost to express now? 300?
And that's why I think people are doing it. And it's funny because after I had that conversation with Nye, the guy who grades all the black labels, And that's his focus, is buying minty raw singles, sending them in to get graded and trying to get that perfect grade. And whether it's through BGS or even PSA. And to me, I love the chase of trying to get after a black label. But after looking at his process and how much he has to do and how much time, and I mean, there's just so much skill involved. There's so much knowledge. And then I was talking with him after that, and he's just like, even if I do it all, even if I go through that whole process and I think that this is it, this is a candidate, I'm going to send it in for $125. Even then, he's like, man, I swear that it was a perfect card and I still don't get it. And so it's like, for me, there is a lot of risk with BGS. And I think with PSA, they're a lot easier to get that 10. And so I do think a lot of people are buying the singles, trying to express it at $150 and trying to get that profit, because people, the highest, the first slabs that hit the market always go for ridiculous prices.
Yeah.
So I think people are catching on to that, and it's a way for people to make money. I did that with Burning Shadows. I pulled not Burning Shadows, Champion's Path. Opening day, pulled the Rainbow Charizard, sent it in express. It was $100 back then. Got it back in less than 2 weeks, and I sold it for almost $900. Boom, and it wasn't even a perfect card. It did not look like a 10, but I was like, I think it could get the 10, and it did. I just did the same thing with the Sleepy Dragonite from Evolving Skies. I pulled it. It's kind of on that 9 to 10 fence. I've been looking at other copies, and I've been seeing, my exact card, where the centering is and everything on it, still get 10s. And I'm like, okay, like, I'm just going to go ahead and gamble $150. Let's just see what happens. They've been selling for over 500. So it's like, if I can flip that and do that, that's sweet, And so I think that's where people are thinking they are trying to do that, some, not all, but some.
And it's this game of, it's like, then like, who's the buyer? Well, the buyer is someone probably either uneducated or playing this game of hot potato, right? Where they're like gambling if they can just flip it for that incremental margin, right? If they buy it for 800 and can sell it for 900, like there's people squeezing blood out of rocks here. Like, it's crazy to me. But I'm like, who is like, there are two very different ends of the spectrum, I think, that are buying these at those prices. But it's like literally a chase to like see who gets left holding the bag when the next one, gets graded. It's crazy to me. It's absolutely wild. But yeah, it's just fascinating. Like, it's sad in a lot of ways. It's also just, it's fascinating.
I just think there's a lot of rich people out there that want the first stuff. Like, I guarantee that there's people that want to do that first post on Instagram, like first graded 10, whatever. Oh, yeah. Even
clout chasing.
What was it? Travis Mills. Travis Mills did a post, said, I'm trying not to freak out about owning the very first ever Rainbow Rare Charizard from Champion's Path. You know what I mean? And it's like, there's got to be dozens and dozens of other people that are like that are trying to get that first, to get that clout and the flex or whatever, or they're just rich and they just want it now for their collection,
Well, there's a lot of money sloshing around in here. There's a lot of players who have a lot of capital to put to work, whether it's from selling Pokemon or crypto or a mix of both or other avenues, and they become very savvy. They figured out the game, and they're the ones puppeteering the whole thing. Like I said before, don't get it twisted. There is a lot in a completely unregulated space. There's a immense amount of manipulation, and it's all you see. You see the socialites out there and the Instagram people and YouTube people, and it's a lot of it's a facade, and people are just gaming this system, and they are making so much money off of people. It's wild. It's literally, it's like creating money out of nothing. It really is, right? It's like, I don't know. It's it continues to widen the gap. So like, it really does. Entrepreneurial side of me like loves it, but like the I love humans side of me like cringes at it, because it's so like it's like a gnarly way to make money in a lot of ways. And it's just like, it's hard. It's hard because it's like, I get it. I get why people are doing it. Like, it's like I've said before, like the barrier to entry to be an entrepreneur nowadays is so low. I don't think there's more people that are good at it than ever before, but the barrier is very low. And so guys who have a knack for it and a flair and a little bit of capital and are just on top of things, they can make it work, man.
Yeah.
Same thing with like scalping, right? It's the same thing, right? Like you got a little bit of hustle, a little bit of business savvy, even not that much savvy, because it ain't that hard to flip cardboard. I mean, if you didn't make money in the past year trying to do that, then you should just quit, because like that's like shooting fish in a barrel. So it's weird. It's just like we're still in that super weird place with the hobby where it's going to take a major event that's going to impact all of us negatively, like inside of the hobby, for that to like crack a little bit. We saw a little bit with Ando. We don't have to like go there. You did a good video on it. But just like some like people are starting to catch on or be more savvy or understand what's happening, but there's still a lot of people who are just being taken advantage of because they're new
totally.
and they don't know anything, and they just, it's, knowledge is power, right? And it's never been truer in this hobby than now, right? The guys who know, even, the guys listing the card at $50 on eBay, and they've got 300 CGC 9s of the same card sitting behind them, and they're just drip, drip, drip. And hey,
yep,
market, it's liquidity, it's not flooding all at once, and they're savvy. It's, man, just to be able to like be out here and look down on this whole hobby, it would be fascinating to see what's like really happening. I don't know how we got here, but it's just where my brain goes. Like it's oh man, it's so dangerous. It's so dangerous. It's so dangerous, but it's still so fun, and we're having a great time, and it's super enjoyable. But man, it is just wild out there right now. Absolutely wild.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the topic was initially, because
me saying that the golden Mew was overvalued.
Oh yeah.
Don't buy singles. Oh
Yeah.
man. Yeah. Part of me felt kind of bad for selling a $70 Mew, but what can you do?
Well, and again, it's not that you're like, okay, I'm taking advantage of a situation right now, because again, people are taking that $70 Mew, expressing it, and then flipping that for potentially even more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's just like like you get the cartels that are like shoveling this stuff out for not a lot of money, and then they push it to their distributors who are doing even more money and selling it for more and cutting the product and then selling it for more. It's like, it's this domino effect. It's got to start cheap somewhere, and then the end product of whoever's buying it, even in regards to all the arbitrage after that card gets graded, and like you said, okay, I'm gonna sell it at 500 or buy it at X amount, sell it at 500, and then the next guy buys it at 500 and sells it at 700, and then the next guy sells it at 770, like whatever ends last, what I'm saying? Like you said, whoever's holding the bag last, that hot potato, like it's got to get to that final product somewhere. So whatever step of the line it is, like you're just adding to the natural order of things of what's happening in the market. So I don't think that people should ever feel bad selling it at reasonable prices. Obviously there's a scalping thing, and it's just like, okay, be a decent human being, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you're not going to be able to take a $120 ETB and flip that for more money, or have a potential of grading it and having a higher yield or whatever, and obviously it's going to take a long time to do that. So there's a balance, it's not just, oh, I can sell and buy whatever, and it's just a natural, Rob said it, it's all good. Like that's not what I'm going after. But I do think that
there's a difference between like listing a card at market and someone buying it and whatever they want to do with that, it being it, and me, getting 3 Pokemon Center ETBs and deciding that I was going to list them for whatever it was, $250 or whatever the hell it is, or run a waffle with, 25 spots at $10, and basically, again, to use my overused term, squeeze some money or some blood out of rocks. But Yeah, that's different. That feels gnarly, but just like it happened with the I've talked about this before. I went to Chicago, went to an LGS, grabbed a pack of Chilling Reign, and pulled the Alt Art Galarian Moltres, like my first or second pack of Chilling Reign. And it honestly, dude, that thing, looking back on it and even thinking in the moment, it had black label potential. Like it was crazy good. Like the kid who bought it for me was like, dude, this, and like, know what? That's his risk now. If he wants to,
Right.
grade a modern card, like I was content to sell it for whatever it was 100 or 125 and be able to go out to 2 nice dinners while I was in Chicago, and like everybody wins there, right? Like his risk is that it was fair. It was at or below the market. Like I didn't care for it. I always throw in freebies. I try to be, I try to have communication with the person, but it's, we've talked about it before. It's like ethically selling versus like
Absolutely
just flipping anything you can get your hands on,
right.
Is different, I think. So yeah, man, that's, like today, I was just thinking about it. I traded like this random thing I had for some products. So I'm running a giveaway on my Instagram for 1,500 followers. So I'm giving away a Pokemon Center ETB, and then not Pokemon Center, a Celebrations ETB, regular ETB. And then I'm doing 2 mystery packs that are going to have some modern booster packs in it, and some knickknacks and some Celebrations cards and stuff. And
that's awesome, man.
I traded to this guy, and it's like, I would never buy it for the trade value I got for that, but I had something in my closet that happened to be worth like $200 that I got for free. So I traded it for Pokemon to give away on my channel, which is hilarious. But like, I'm not going to I don't want to flip stuff like that. Like that's people's game, and that's great because people buy it, and that's their prerogative, whatever. But it's not like my thing to do. I don't need to make money like that. I don't care. I just don't. It doesn't always sit right with me. But people are providing liquidity, and they're providing a service to people, and people are lazy, right? People who have money are okay buying that for $80 instead of going to 6 Walmarts and Targets to buy it for $50 plus tax. Like when you think about it, if you value your time a lot, it's not crazy to pay $80 for that if you just want one and you're kind of lazy and you have some time that you need to put to something else. So you know what? Like, how can I say it's wrong? Because it's really like, it is what it is, So I don't know, man. What a weird hobby we're in. But I love it. We got many good years ahead, my friend. It's a great hobby to be a part of.
Definitely. Yeah. I think that, it's super important not to get caught up in, again, man, it's just so funny how people hop on the bandwagon with Unlisted Leaf, like the amount of spots that were sold in the break compared to the amount of comments and DMs he was talking about, and just, overall negative feedback. Like, it doesn't even come close. Like there's so much negative stuff. There's so many people just like who didn't participate or anything that's got to give their 2 cents. It's got to say like, oh, this is terrible. You shouldn't be doing this and blah, 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 blah. And like all these hurtful things. And it's just like, you don't need to do that. You just don't. Like, it's just not necessary. Like the guy doesn't get a pass. He doesn't just get to keep doing this over and over again. But like, take a step back and look at the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's never done a box break in his life. The guy's been on YouTube for 8 years. He's done nothing but provide service and smiles. And is he too much for me? Absolutely. He caters to a younger generation. But damn, if the guy hasn't done so much for the hobby, like so much, everybody's seen the Unlisted Leaf video. Everybody, I don't care who you are, how long you've been in this hobby, you have. And so that level of service, that level of dedication, commitment, time after time, building up this hobby from 8 years ago, he's contributed a large factor. Same with Leonhardt, great guy, and one wrong mistake, I don't think that you deserve to be like getting death threats or hated on to the point where you feel like you need to quit YouTube, the thing that you love, the job that you're doing. because of how much hate you got. It's not just like a little backlash, like, oh, get thicker skin, dude. Like the guy is like dying inside right now because of like how people are just willing to like hop onto this stuff and like just be a part of it. And so like I gotta say, like, you know, I have to enjoy Pokemon. There's so much good about it. Like I can't be fall victim to every like little thing that's going on and get sucked into social media and whatever's hip at the time or whatever's like, you know, people are talking, you know, mess about whatever. Like I gotta do me. I gotta, you know, almost be like laser focused on like being a positive, good role model and member to this community. And like I'm a small person. Like I have no influence at all, but I'm still gonna do my part in trying to be one of the good guys. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like,
it's, you know, just changing one person's mentality or being positive to that one person makes the world of a difference. And if this is proven nothing to us, it's just that cancel culture is real. And also there are just a lot of angry people out there
yeah,
who are looking for somewhere to direct
absolutely.
frustrations that have been exacerbated by the past 18 months of the world that we're living in. And it's super sad and it's super unfortunate and it's very, you know, it's not fair that people are taking out their own mental and emotional issues on other people like this. And when the herd mentality gets behind it and everyone just wants to hop on and,
Yeah,
you know, be a keyboard warrior, like it's this weird place that we're living in, and it's the gnarly sides of social media and how interconnected we are. And you know, it's kind of like I said, like it's really hard for people, and I commented this on your video, like it's really hard for people to like extend grace and mercy when they don't understand the grace and mercy that's been extended to them.
right.
And I think that people just need to, you know, there's not a lot of like rational or thinking before you act or speak nowadays because there's no recourse, right? There's no, you know, you're hidden behind a screen name or a, you know, a freaking profile picture of a whatever, a cactus with a face on it. Who knows, you know, like whatever. Like there's all this anonymity, and there's no recourse. You can literally do whatever you want apparently, and so be it. And it's the weird negative part of the hobby we're living in. So
Out of everything that you could have said, a cactus with the
I
face.
know, I know. It really took away from the poignant point I was making, but my gosh, I don't know. It was like, what's a weird emoji thing that someone would have? I don't know. Oh man.
But this is the
Cactus
point
face.
though, man. It's like by being like who you are, Con, and like being this good dude, we've connected, we've built a relationship. Now we get to, you know, BS around on podcasts and laugh about stuff like this. And it all goes back to like how you treat people and how you act. And like, dude, I want to be a douche too. Like it's easy for me to see something and I want to give my opinion for sure. Like I have opinions, I have emotions and feelings, but I reel it in, and it's just like because of doing that stuff, I have been able to build further relationships. I have been able to like hopefully have like a little reputation of the people that do know me is like, oh yeah, he's a guy I can trust. Like he's a guy that's, you know, he's honest, he'll take the time to talk to me. If I have questions and he has experience, he can share that experience. Obviously I'm not a professional or anything like that or claim to be, but I'm always happy to talk Pokemon or just talk life. You know, like I know a lot of people who are like, literally I know their personal lives and what's going on with them. And like, you know, when they're going through hard times, like we talk and nothing to do with Pokemon. Like that all stems from like you being in the trenches every single day, acting a certain kind of way. And because of that, like, I feel like I've been rewarded, like beyond my belief. I did not think that I'd be in a position where I'd have so many friends as I do now and so many cool experiences. Like, even if it is, you know, states away, like I feel really blessed and I feel humble. And people that are miserable, they're putting out that negative bad energy, that are constantly like, you know, saying their opinions or saying hurtful things or whatever it is, like they don't get to experience this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can get very blinded by your own negativity to a point where, you know, you can't really see a different avenue.
Right.
compel yourself to act a different way. And gosh, you're so right. Like by just exercising a little bit of humility and gratitude and kindness, people respond, because it's what I said earlier too. Like people want to be known and loved, and there are a lot of people I think who feel really lonely right now for a lot of different reasons. And I think a big part of it is the way that they constantly feel like they're missing out on something because of the way social media is structured. And me taking an extra 30 seconds out of my day to respond to a DM, I think can go like a long way to help someone's happiness or mental health or whatever.
Definitely.
When maybe they're just like having a down day or just want someone to reach out to, like feel like they need a friend when they don't. And yeah, it's like I'm crazy blessed to have the connections I have in the relationships I have because of this hobby. Like we've become friends like because of Pokemon, but like we talk about real life, like you just said, like it's you know, I have a group chat with 2 other folks that like it's just constant, like we're talking about life and the economy and Pokemon and MetaZoo and the economy and Pokemon and the stock market and Pokemon. It's just like and Fortnite, and like it's all over the place. And it's you know, it's all been cultivated out of, you know, just putting ourselves out there. So I think that if, you know, people just make the conscious decision to be a little kinder to one another, this hobby is going to go a long way, and you're going to reap the rewards of the relationships and the benefits associated with it. So couldn't agree more. So.
Yeah. And the whole reason why I kind of went down this path is because like we were talking about the next 5 years of what Pokemon we're talking about. Cause I 1,000% agree that like, I'm looking forward to the relationships. Like I just am, you know? And so there's going to be some hurdles ahead. There's going to be some stuff that you don't agree with, that you don't like, or you're going to see a post and you're not going to agree with how a person said something. Or even if you see like somebody being negative towards somebody else in the comments, and then you feel the need to like, screw you, dude. Like I could just, it's not my deal. Like, and so there's just so many situations that we're encountered with where we have this opportunity to express our opinion, but I just don't need to do that. Cause as soon as I send that message, cause I have done it, and it feels like I need to say this to this person, or I need to give my 2 cents or whatever, and it's negative. And as soon as I send it, I'm like, damn, I need to delete it, because I just don't feel, it just doesn't feel good afterwards. Like, great, I got my opinion across and I feel heard and they know what I'm thinking. In the end, it just doesn't matter, you know? So just enjoy the hobby, guys. There's so much to love about Pokemon. There's so many good people. There's a lot of negativity, yes, but there are so many good people that I continue to meet every single day. And like all that is just worth it. It's why I'm here, you know? So just love this hobby, man. Enjoy it during the scalping times, during the high prices and low prices, when there's any and everything to bitch about. Like try not to, and just try to like continue to be like that positive person. Because there's a lot of other people like me and Connor that love meeting new good people. Like it's just, we're a little wired different, you know, like it kind of fuels us, you know? So, yeah, man, there's a lot of good times ahead, like you said.
Absolutely. And it's not like we're naive to all the, you know, the negativity or the issues. And just because we don't necessarily publicly address them to everyone in some big expose or comment on everything or whatever, doesn't mean we don't understand it. But it's like, there's enough fuel to that fire in something that literally is so inconsequential. Like when you really think about it in the big scheme of things, like it's so, these quarrels and these like social media issues and like pop culture issues and stuff, like it's kind of like, it's a waste of mental energy. Like there's way better, like put all that energy towards like not being delusionally positive, but just like focusing on the good things in a tempered way. Like again, staying more even keeled in this hobby rather than at every pendulum swing being the, you know, there's enough people out there with the volatile, whatever opinions and hype and downers and uppers. Like I need a little bit more like even keel in my life. So that's kind of what I try to bring. And I hope that people appreciate that, and it helps them kind of stay even keeled too. So
They do, man. You're growing, bro. You're growing.
we're moving. We're moving. People like it. I'm just trying to be like you, man. Just trying to be like you.
Yeah, spending 20 hours on a video and not getting any subs. Yeah, be like me.
I'm so lo-fi. Oh my gosh. Come on. At least you have a camera.
Oh man.
Oh man. Well, guys, thank you for joining us on another episode of Kanto Conversations. I am Connor from Rock Pokemon. As always, collect what you love, but do it intelligently. Really appreciate all you guys listening. Rob.
Guys, thanks so much. Have such a good time doing this. Was talking to my girlfriend beforehand and I'm like, all right, I'm going to go, talk to Connor. And she's like, okay, when are you going to be back? I'm just like, I don't know, probably a few hours. And she's just like, that's not the answer I want to hear. And it's like, hey, I get,
Tell her I'm sorry.
once every other week to catch up, with the buddy and just talk shop and just, hang out. And she goes, no, it's totally fine. I'm just joking, and she's like, have fun, and that's what this is, like I'm grateful for anybody who's willing to listen to this stuff, to give us a platform to, kind of share our experience. And at the very least, like if nobody's watching this, like that's okay. I get to catch up with a buddy. So again, guys, just thank you so much for watching. We just have such a good time doing this podcast. Lots more to come. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, please go check out Connor over at Rock Pokemon. Link's going to be below on his channel, on my channel. The guy's got some crazy good videos that you can just sit back, relax, listen to at work or when you're doing, some housework or whatever. He breaks out the whiteboard from time to time, and that's always fun. But honestly, I do feel like the hobby does need a little bit more rational thinking, and his background and just his personality brings a lot to that. So go check him out if you guys haven't already. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will catch you on the next one.
Right back at you, Rob. Thanks, guys. Be good. See ya.
See ya.